The Houston Police Department (HPD) is the primary municipal law enforcement agency serving the city of Houston, Texas, United States and some surrounding areas. With approximately 5,300 officers and 1,200 civilian support personnel, it is the fifth largest municipal police department, serving the fourth largest city in the United States. Its headquarters are at 1200 Travis in downtown Houston. HPD's jurisdiction often overlaps with several other law enforcement agencies, among them the Harris County Sheriff's Office and the Harris County Constable Precincts. HPD is the largest municipal police department in Texas. History. Main article: History of the Houston Police Department. Beginnings: a 1952 patrol car that was used by the HPD. It is now on display at the Houston Police Museum in downtown Houston. Houston was founded by brothers Augustus and John Kirby Allen in 1836 and incorporated as a city the next year, 1837. As the capital city of the Republic of Texas, it quickly grew, and so did the need for a cohesive law enforcement agency. The Houston Police Department was founded in 1841. The first HPD badge issued bore the number 1. The early part of the 20th century was a time of enormous growth for both Houston and for the Houston Police Department. Due to growing traffic concerns in downtown Houston, the HPD purchased its first automobile in 1910 and created its first traffic squad during that same year. 11 years later, in 1921, the HPD installed the city's first traffic light. This traffic light was manually operated until 1927, when automatic traffic lights were installed. As Houston became a larger metropolis throughout the 1930s and 1940s, the HPD found itself growing and acquiring more technology to keep up with the city's fast pace. The first homicide division was established in 1930. During that same year, the HPD purchased newer weapons to arm their officers, standard issue .44 caliber revolvers and 2 Thompson submachine guns. In 1939, the department proudly presented its first police academy class. The Houston Police Officers Association, POA, was created in 1945. This organization later became the Houston Police Officers Union. Left square bracket to right square bracket. The first African American woman police officer on the force, Margie Duty, joined the HPD in 1953, starting in the juvenile division. Left square bracket 3 right square bracket. Some historians have asserted that the HPD enforced an oppressive racial system that targeted blacks for harassment and failed to protect the black community during the Jim Crow era. Left square bracket 4 right square bracket left square bracket 5 right square bracket. In Race and the Houston Police Department, author and academic Dwight Watson writes that HPD zealously enforced racial segregation in Houston. Left square bracket 5 right square bracket. In 1967, a civil rights protest at Texas Southern University turned into what police say was a riot. 1 officer was killed and nearly 500 students were arrested. Left square bracket 6 right square bracket. It was, as a result of these riots, that the still active Community Relations Division was created within the HPD. In 1970, the Helicopter Patrol Division was created with 3 leased helicopters. That year also marked the department's first purchase of bulletproof vests for their officers. The HPD's first Special Weapons and Tactics Squad (SWAT) was formed in 1975. Modern times. In 1982, the Houston Police Department appointed its first African American Chief of Police, Lee P. Brown, who succeeded B.K. Johnson. Brown served as chief from 1982 to 1990 and later became the city of Houston's first African American mayor in 1998. While Brown was considered a successful chief, he also earned the unflattering moniker Out of Town Brown for his many lengthy trips away from Houston during his tenure. Left square bracket 7 right square bracket. Brown's appointment was controversial from the start. Traditional HPD officers frowned upon Brown, because he was an outsider from Atlanta, Georgia, where he was the police commissioner. To become the police chief in Houston, an officer has to advance through the rank and file, although the good old boy culture was prevalent. The HPD paved a new road again in 1990, when Mayor Kathy Whitmire appointed Elizabeth Watson as the first female chief of police. Elizabeth Watson served from 1990 to 1992 and was followed by Sam Nuccia, who served as police chief from 1992 to 1997. In 1997, Clarence O. Bradford was appointed as chief. In 2002, Bradford was indicted and later acquitted of perjury charges, stemming from an incident in which he allegedly lied under oath about cursing fellow officers. Left square bracket 8 right square bracket. Since 1992, the Houston City Marshal's Division, Houston Airport Police, and Houston Park Police were absorbed into HPD. In early 2004, during Mayor Bill White's first term in office, HPD absorbed the Neighborhood Protection Division from the City of Houston Planning Department, which was renamed the Neighborhood Protection Corps in 2005. Anise Parker, Mayor White's successor, moved the Neighborhood Protection Corps into the Department of Neighborhoods when the new city division was established in August 2011. The NPC was renamed as the Inspections and Public Service Division of the Department of Neighborhoods. Crime Laboratory. In November 2002, the CBS local TV station COW began broadcasting a multi-part investigation into the accuracy of the HPD Crime Lab's findings. Particularly of interest to the reporters were criminal cases that involved DNA analysis and serological, body fluid, testing. Night after night, journalists David Rezick, Anna Werner and Chris Henao presented case after case in which the lab's work was dangerously sloppy or just plain wrong and may have been sending the innocent to prison, while letting the guilty go free. As a result of those broadcasts, at the end of the week the Houston Police Department declared they would have a team of independent scientists audit the lab and its procedures. However, the audit's findings were so troublesome that 1 month later, in mid-December, HPD closed the DNA section of the laboratory. Not only did the audit bolster COW's report but also found that samples were contaminated and the lab's files were very poorly maintained. The audit revealed that a section of the lab's roof was leaking into sample containment areas. Lab technicians were seriously undereducated or unqualified for their jobs. Samples had been incorrectly tagged, and samples had been contaminated through improper handling. Worse, many people had been convicted and sent to prison based upon the evidence contained in the crime lab. The New York Times asked the question, worst crime lab in the country, in a March 2003 article. Left square bracket 9 right square bracket. Beginning in early 2003, the HPD crime lab began cooperating with outside DNA testing facilities to review criminal cases involving cases or convictions associated with crime lab evidence. However, this again came as a result of some prompting investigatory work done by the TV station COW. Reporters David Rezick, Anna Werner and Chris Henao got an email from a local mother. She told them that her son, Josiah Sutton, had been tried for rape in 1999 and found guilty based upon HPD crime lab testing. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. So COW began to take an intensive look at the Sutton case. Rezick and Werner analyzed the HPD lab's DNA report with the help of DNA expert Bill Thompson of the University of California, Irvine. They found obvious mistakes in the report that the lab should have known about. Not long after that broadcast, the HPD agreed to an immediate retest of the DNA evidence in the Sutton case. Those tests showed the DNA collected in the case did not belong to Sutton. He was released from prison in March 2003 and given a full pardon in 2004. As a result of the scandal, 9 crime lab technicians were disciplined with suspensions and 1 analyst was terminated. However, that analyst was fully reinstated to her previous position in January 2004, less than 1 month after her December 2003 termination. Many HPD supervisors and Houston residents called for more stringent disciplinary actions against the crime lab employees. However, the city panel responsible for disciplining the lab technicians repeatedly resisted these arguments and instead reduced the employees' punishments. Left square bracket citation needed right square bracket. Irma Rios was hired in 2003 as lab director, replacing interim lab director Frank Fitzpatrick. In May 2005, the Houston Police Department announced that with much effort and coordination on their part, they had received national accreditation through the American Society of Crime Lab Directors, ASCLD. The ASCLD stated that the lab had met or exceeded standards for accreditation in all areas, except DNA. Left square bracket 10 right square bracket. Through independent research and testing, it was determined in January 2006 that of 1,100 samples reviewed, 40% of DNA samples and 23% of blood evidence samples had serious problems. Left square bracket 11 right square bracket. On June 11, 2007, the HPD Crime Lab reported its DNA section had gained full accreditation from ASCO. Left square bracket 10 right square bracket. In the October 6, 2007 the Houston Chronicle published allegations of employees cheating on an open book proficiency test. Left square bracket 12 right square bracket Safe Clear. The Safe Clear program was implemented by Mayor Bill White on January 1, 2005, as a joint venture between the City of Houston and the Houston Police Department. Left square bracket 13 right square bracket. The intention of the program was to decrease the freeway accidents and traffic jams that occurred due to stalled drivers. Select tow truck companies across the city were authorized to tow a stalled vehicle as soon as possible after being notified by an HPD officer. Persons having their vehicle towed were provided with a motorist's bill of rights and were required to pay a sum to the City of Houston after the towing had taken place. The program was initially very unpopular among Houston residents. Frequent complaints were that the program unfairly punished lower-income motorists by enforcing a high towing fee and that the program could potentially damage vehicles that required special tow trucks and equipment to be safely towed away. Other complaints were that stranded motorists did not have an option to choose their own garage. The city and the HPD addressed these concerns with program improvements that provided funds to pay for short tows that removed stalled vehicles from the freeway and then allowed drivers to choose their own garage and tow companies once they were safely off the freeway. Left square bracket 14 right square bracket. Studies released in February 2006 indicate that Safe Clear has been successful during its fledgling year. There were 1,533 fewer freeway accidents in 2005, a decrease of 10.4% since Safe Clear's implementation. Left square bracket 15 right square bracket red light cameras. In December 2004, Chief Hurt stated that he was looking into installing red light cameras that would automatically ticket drivers that ran red lights. He had previously overseen the installation of cameras in Oxnard, California, where following the installation, side impact collisions had decreased by 68%. Left square bracket 16 right square bracket. In the same month, the Houston City Council unanimously voted for red light camera enforcement. After Texas State Representative Gary Elkins, RDX, introduced legislation to deter Houston from amending its city charter for the red light camera rule to be enforced. After this measure failed in the Texas Senate, although in 2005, 4 intersections in downtown Houston were used as testbeds for red light camera equipment. When a contract was approved, enforcement went online on September 1, 2006. Those running a red light at one of the 50 locations with cameras left square bracket 17 right square bracket are fined a $75 civil fine, as opposed to a $225 moving violation which goes against the vehicle operator. Left square bracket 18 right square bracket. There are 50 intersections with red light cameras in the city with cameras. 20 intersections were added, where dual cameras were installed. A majority of them are located at a thoroughfare at a freeway intersection, primarily in the Gully area and southwest Houston. During a Houston City Council meeting on 6.11.08, Council member James Rodriguez suggested the installation of an additional 200 cameras. Left square bracket 18 right square bracket. A voter referendum during the 2010 Texas gubernatorial elections to eliminate red light cameras passed. The referendum that passed in November 2010 was later invalidated by U.S. District Judge Lynn Hughes June 17, 2011, citing that the referendum violated the city charter despite the contract with American Traffic Solutions, which provided the camera equipment. The cameras were expected to be reactivated after midnight on July 24, 2011. Plans were underway to have this judicial ruling heard by the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Left square bracket 19 right square bracket left square bracket 20 right square bracket Mobility Response Team. On July 2, 2007, Mayor Bill White started a new program called the Mobility Response Team. Staffed by traffic enforcement officers, patrol within the loop clearing traffic problems. They report traffic light outages, issue parking citations, help clear and direct traffic around minor accidents or traffic jams during special events in the area. The duties will only involve surface streets and not the freeways, and will be using scooters and police cruisers fitted with yellow flashing lights rather than the typical red and blue lights. This was part of the mayor's plan to improve mobility in the city and is the first of its kind in the United States. The city's mobility response team cost $1.8 million a year to operate. Left square bracket 21 right square bracket overtime and hotspot patrol concentration. Hertz spent around $24 million on overtime pay through 2010. That money would continue to bolster an understaffed force, as police commanders tried to increase their ranks. Left square bracket 22 right square bracket the overtime that is planned would be about equal to 500,000 police hours, of which would help bolster various departments including Vice, West Side Patrol and Traffic Enforcement, among other areas, including a new 60-member crime reduction unit that will serve as a citywide tactical squad. Left square bracket 22 right square bracket. The police chief said the effort will put more officers to work immediately in troubled areas of the city such as 3rd Ward and Acres Homes, where the bodies of 7 women have been found in the past 2 years. Left square bracket 23 right square bracket. The crime rate, particularly for violent offenses, since the latter part of 2005, when an influx of hurricane evacuees increased the city's population by more than 100,000, and incidents spiked in certain neighborhoods. Left square bracket 24 right square bracket use of violence by the police. In 2013, Joel D. Prang of the Texas Observer wrote that according to citizens, community activists, a veteran Houston police officer and even the president of the local police union, the scenario of multiple officers beating an unarmed suspect happens nearly every day. Left square bracket 25 right square bracket from circa 2007-2013 there were 588 times observers reported what they deemed inappropriate use of force, and the Internal Affairs Division dismissed 584 of them, with the other 4 being pursued. Left square bracket 25 right square bracket Pecan Park Raid main article, Pecan Park Raid helicopter crash. In the morning of May 2, 2020, HPD's helicopter crashed in an apartment complex in North Houston, killing Officer Jason Knox and injuring another. Left square bracket 26 right square bracket Organization 1200 Travis HPD headquarters in downtown Houston. HPD officers arrest a young male on 1200 Main Street in downtown Houston. Houston Police Department Central Division and HPD patrol car parked outside the Aldine storefront in Greenspoint. Houston Police Department Southwest Division, Houston Police Department West Side Division and Municipal Courts Fondren Division, former station. The Houston Police Department is headed by a chief of police appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the city council. This position is aided by 2 executive assistant chiefs, 10 assistant chiefs, 44 captains, approximately 220 lieutenants and 900 sergeants. HPD headquarters, 1200 Travis, is in downtown Houston. The current acting chief of police is Larry Satterwhite. HPD divides the city into 13 patrol divisions. Each division is divided into 1 or more districts, and each district is divided further into 1 or more beats. Stations are operated and staffed 24 hours a day. HPD also operates 29 storefront locations throughout the city. These storefronts are not staffed 24 hours a day, and generally open at either 7 or 8 a.m., and close at 5 p.m. Left square bracket citation needed right square bracket downtown Houston is patrolled by the Downtown Division, and the Houston Airport System facilities have their own divisions. Left square bracket 27 right square bracket. A map of all stations and storefront locations can be found at the HPD website. Left square bracket 27 right square bracket. The Houston Police Department administrative offices and investigative offices are at 1200 Travis in downtown Houston. The 61 Reisner site houses the HPD Central Patrol Office, the Municipal Jail, and the Transportation Department. The 33 Artesian facility houses the Communication and Maintenance facilities. Left square bracket 28 right square bracket. In December 2013 the city announced that it has plans to build a new headquarters for HPD and the city courts. Left square bracket 29 right square bracket. By the end of 1989 the police department had established 19 storefronts and planned to open 10 additional storefronts in 1990. Left square bracket 30 right square bracket patrol vehicles. As of 2015, the department uses a large number of Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptors as their main fleet of patrol vehicles, which was first ordered in 1996, replacing the Chevrolet Caprice 9C1, used between 1988 and in patrol service until 2004, replacing the Ford Ltd. Crown Victoria squads to 1987, along with embodied moppers, primarily the Plymouth Grand Fury, both R and M platform, last used in 1989. They have Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor models dating from 1999 to 2011. Since Ford no longer produces the Crown Vic, procurement of the Crown Vic ended in April 2011. When the orders were filled, the department has chosen to phase in the Chevy Tahoe PPV and Ford Police Interceptor Utility Explorer as the successor to the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. The department is continuing to test new Chevy Caprice PPV models and Ford Taurus Interceptors, including the 5th generation Explorer. As well, the test mules as of 2015 have been integrated into the mainstream vehicle fleet. It also uses pickup trucks from the Big Three, such as the Chevrolet Colorado, Ford F-150, and Dodge Ram for their truck enforcement unit. There is also a small fleet of Dodge Chargers and Chevrolet Camaros, which are mainly used as stealth traffic patrol vehicles, which is part of the Traffic Enforcement Division. The stealth vehicles are plain white police cars with a slick top roof and gray, reflective Houston Police graphics on the side as well as on the front bumper, and hidden emergency lights that are driven by uniformed officers. The Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor is also used in this manner. As of late 2011, the stealth patrol vehicles are now painted black. The stealth squads have been supplemented with 14 Ford Taurus Police Interceptors in early 2014, painted black. Solo motorcycle officers use Harley-Davidson motorcycles. The patrol vehicle livery, painted white with blue lettered graphics dating back to 1999, which replaced the Columbia blue livery last used in 1998 and retired a decade later, is being phased out for a black and white color scheme where 100 vehicles are painted from $60,000 earmarked from asset forfeiture funds. Under HPD policy, the previous livery is still used in service until official retirement. HPD squads are usually retired when the vehicle reaches 100,000 miles. They are not reassigned to reserve or secondary duty as with the Austin or San Antonio PD after 80,000 miles. Some squads dating over 10 model years old which are no longer used for patrol duty are usually reassigned either as bait squads. HPD will park an unmanned squad in a high crime area or illegal dumping site, or the Mobility Response Division. The older HPD fleet used by Mobility Response have been retired and replaced with Ford F-150 extended cab pickup trucks from the Truck Enforcement Unit. Left square bracket citation needed right square bracket. Around 2016, the Houston Chronicle revealed that some of the older squads are still in service, but the breakdown rate has increased. A 100,000-mile marked squad, or 120,000-mile unmarked vehicle, has the life expectancy of an automobile, with 300,000 miles with regular maintenance. At the time, HPD ordered 50 new Ford Police Interceptor utilities for the command staff but not the mainstream vehicle fleet. The department has procured newer vehicles, but the budget crunch has taken in a few new orders whilst the older squads are still operational. A budget crunch in major Texas cities is partly to blame, where municipal budgets are usually slashed, including priority spending for first responders. Most modern HPD patrol cars today are blue and white saying Houston Police on the side. Newer models use a mixture of black and white paint now, with 911 emergency listed on the rear side of the car or truck. Air support. The Houston Police Helicopter Division celebrated its 40th anniversary in 2010. The unit was formed with 3 leased Schweitzer Hughes 269B helicopters and has flown almost exclusively Schweitzer or McDonnell Douglas helicopters. With 16 helicopters, the division is the third largest air support unit in the United States after the Los Angeles Police Department and Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. In 2008, the department acquired new MD-500E helicopters. The department also has Schweitzer 300 helicopters for training. The helicopter division patrols about a 700 square mile, 1,800 kilometers area. HPD has 2 helicopters in the air for up to 21 hours a day. All pilots and tactical flight officers are sworn Houston police officers. Weapons. This section does not cite any sources. Please help improve this section by adding citations to reliable sources. And sourced material may be challenged and removed. March 2012. Learn how and when to remove this message. Most Houston police officers now carry SIGs or P229, SIGs or P226, SIGs or P220, Glock 22, Glock 23 or the Smith & Wesson M&P 40.40, S&W, caliber semi-automatic handguns. They are also armed with Taser X26 tasers. Tenured officers whose handguns are grandfathered in are still allowed to carry their weapons after the mandated .40, S&W, requirement. This allows some officers to still carry .38 Special, .357 Magnum, .44 Magnum, and .45 Colt revolvers. Chief Charles McClelland, while chief, carried a Colt 1911 MK 4th government model as his sidearm. Left square bracket citation needed. Right square bracket officers are also allowed to carry an AR-15 rifle, Ruger Mini 14 rifle, Remington 870 shotgun, Benelli M1 Super 90 shotgun and M2 Super 90 shotgun. The SWAT unit uses several kinds of automatic weapons, and was the first local law enforcement agency in the United States to adopt the FNP-90 personal defense weapon. Former Chief Art Acevedo carried a Smith & Wesson M&P, and it is also the standard sidearm of the Austin Police Department from which he came. As of November 2013, HPD has allowed officers to carry pistols chambered in .45 Act. The Glock 21, SIGs or P227, and Smith & Wesson M&P 45 are approved sidearms for uniformed officers. Plainclothes officers may carry the Glock 30 and Smith & Wesson M&P 45C. Also in 2013, HPD began to issue the Taser X2 in place of the Taser X26. As of September 2015, M1911 pistols in 9mm, .40 S&W, and .45 Act are authorized for uniformed officers, as well as 9mm and .45 Act versions of all previously authorized pistols. Plainclothes officers are now authorized to carry the Glock 43 or Smith & Wesson M&P Shield as their primary weapon. As of January 2016, the SIGs or P320 in 9mm, .40 S&W, and .45 Act is approved for uniformed officers to carry. Also, ETH electronic optical sights have been removed from the list of red dot sights that are allowed on patrol rifles. However, aim-point electronic optical sights are still allowed. Officers graduating from Cadet Class 231 or later are only authorized to carry the SIGs or P320, the Glock 17, or the Smith & Wesson M&P in 9mm, as their primary weapon, while in uniform. Ranks. These are the current ranks of the Houston Police Department. Rank insignia: Chief of Police Department, Executive Assistant Chief Commander, Lieutenant Sergeant, Senior Police Officer N/A. Those with the rank of sergeant or above are supervisors and are issued gold badges, whereas officers are issued silver badges. Lieutenants and above may also be referred to as commanders. For example, they hold position titles including shift commander, night commander, division commander, etc. They are also exempt employees under the Fair Labor Standards Act due to their managerial responsibilities. After 12 years of HPD service and obtaining a Coal Master Peace Officer certification, an officer becomes a senior officer. Left square bracket 31 right square bracket. This rank was created in 2001. Left square bracket 32 right square bracket. Promotion to sergeant through Captain Hall occur via a civil service formula that factors into account performance on the written examination for the respective rank, assessment score, years of service, and level of higher education or 4 years of military service. Officers are eligible to take the sergeant's promotion exam after 5 years of service. Sergeants and lieutenants are eligible to take the promotion exam of the next higher rank after 2 years of service in their current rank. Candidates for lieutenant must hold at least 65 college hours or an associate degree. Candidates for the rank of commander must hold at least a bachelor's degree. Left square bracket 31 right square bracket. Assistant chiefs and executive assistant chiefs are appointed by the chief with the approval of the mayor. Such individuals must hold at least a master's degree and have 5 years of HPD service. Left square bracket 31 right square bracket. It is not required to move through every rank below to achieve a higher rank. For example, many officers promote directly to sergeant without ever being senior officers. Also, many assistant chiefs are promoted directly from the rank of lieutenant. Councilman C.O. Bradford was promoted to assistant chief from the rank of sergeant. Left square bracket 33 right square bracket Jack Hurd was promoted to chief from the rank of sergeant. Left square bracket 34 right square bracket It is entirely possible to become chief as an outsider, such as in the case of Lee Brown, who went on to become mayor, and Harold Hurt. Defined ranks include detective, commissioner, captain, inspector, and deputy chief. Inspector fell under assistant chief and resided directly above captain, until the rank retired in 1978. In the mid-1980s, all active duty detectives were reclassified to sergeants. Left square bracket 35 right square bracket Originally, officers could choose to promote to detective, investigator, or sergeant, supervisor, which were both immediately below lieutenant. Left square bracket 36 right square bracket. In 2018, the rank of captain was converted to commander with a change of rank insignia from double gold bars to 1 gold star. George Seber was promoted to assistant chief in either 1953 or 1954. Left square bracket 37 right square bracket and was second in command of the department. Left square bracket 36 right square bracket. However, that rank ended when he left in 1969. Left square bracket 37 right square bracket left square bracket 38 right square bracket Inspectors were then the second highest ranking. Left square bracket 36 right square bracket and Chief Pappy Bond converted that rank to deputy chief. Left square bracket 38 right square bracket after the rank of assistant chief was reinstituted in the mid-1970s. Left square bracket 35 right square bracket The deputy chief rank was third highest for a time. Circa 1990, the rank of deputy chief was abolished. In 1998, the executive assistant chief rank was created. Left square bracket 39 right square bracket making it the second highest rank. Supervisors may also be appointed under certain circumstances to act in the next higher rank during an absence from duty of their supervisor. For example, a patrol sergeant might be appointed as the acting lieutenant, shift commander, if there would be no other lieutenants on duty within that division. Per policy, officers cannot be appointed as acting sergeants, supervisors, fallen officers. Since the establishment of the Houston Police Department, 115 officers have died in the line of duty. The following list also contains officers from the Houston Airport Police Department and the Houston City Marshal's Office, which were merged into HPD. Left square bracket 1 right square bracket. Left square bracket 40 right square bracket. Left square bracket 41 right square bracket. Left square bracket 42 right square bracket Houston Police Officers Memorial. The Houston Police Officers Memorial, designed by Texas artist Jesus Morales, opened in 1991 to honor the duty and sacrifices of members of the department. Demographics. Breakdown of the makeup of the rank and file of HPD. Left square bracket 43 right square bracket. Male, 88% female, 12% white, 37% African American/Black, 18% Hispanic, 42% Asian, 3%. Breakdown of the types of academic degrees held by HPD members. Left square bracket 44 right square bracket. Associate degree, 311 bachelor's degree, 1750 master's degree, 575 doctorate degree, 46 total number of members with a degree, 2,682. Misconduct. Joe Campos Torres. Main article, Joe Campos Torres. In May 1977, Joe Campos Torres, 1954, May 5, 1977, a 23-year-old Vietnam War veteran, was arrested for disorderly conduct at a bar in Houston's predominantly Hispanic East End neighborhood. 6 Houston police officers took Torres to a spot called the Hole next to Buffalo Bayou and beat him. The officers then took Torres to the city jail, where they were ordered to take him to the hospital. Instead of taking Torres to the hospital, the officers took him back to the banks of Buffalo Bayou, where he was pushed into the water. Torres' body was found 2 days later. Left square bracket 45 right square bracket. In June 2021, Police Chief Troy Finner apologized to the Torres family, calling the killing straight-up murder. Left square bracket 46 right square bracket. Chad Hawley beating. Main article, Chad Hawley. Chad Hawley was a sophomore at Elsik High School at the time of his arrest in March 2010, as an alleged burglary suspect. There appeared to be obvious abuse by Houston police officers immediately prior to his arrest that was captured on a security camera video which was leaked to the public. Left square bracket 47 right square bracket Hawley was eventually found guilty and sentenced to probation until age 18. Left square bracket 48 right square bracket The incident resulted in 12 officers being disciplined, fired, or charged. All appealed the decisions. Left square bracket 49 right square bracket Officer Andrew Blomberg, the first of 4 officers to go on trial, was acquitted of charges of official oppression. Left square bracket 50 right square bracket Tracy Bell. In September 2010, Officer Tracy Bell was sentenced to 16 years in prison for stealing over $100,000 from American Red Cross funds earmarked for survivors of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. Bell and another officer contracted with the charity to run a basketball camp for young people displaced by the storms. They inflated the number of persons they claimed attended in order to gain additional funds. Left square bracket 51 right square bracket Ruben Trejo. In April 2011, Sergeant Ruben Trejo crashed his private vehicle into a school bus while driving to work. Tests showed he had twice the legal limit of alcohol in his blood. Trejo was fired from the department. Left square bracket 52 right square bracket left square bracket 53 right square bracket rape kits. In August 2011, press reports stated that the department held more than 7,000 used rape kits that had never been tested. Some of these kits dated back 20 years. Left square bracket 54 right square bracket Abraham Joseph. In October 2012, Officer Abraham Joseph was sentenced to life in prison for raping a handcuffed woman in the back of his police car. During the sentencing phase of the trial, 2 other women came forward claiming that Joseph had also raped them. Left square bracket 55 right square bracket death of Brian Clonch. In June 2013, a grand jury refused to indict Officer Matthew Marin after he shot and killed Brian C. Clonch on September 22, 2012. Clonch, who was mentally ill and confined to a wheelchair, threatened a police officer with a ballpoint pen. Marin then shot him, resulting in his death. Left square bracket 56 right square bracket Darren Dwayne Thomas. In August 2013, Officer Darren Dwayne Thomas pleaded guilty to theft of $700. Thomas was caught in an October 2010 sting operation, where he thought he had been left with the money unobserved. He was sentenced to 2 years of probation and agreed to surrender his Texas peace officer's license. He was expected to have no criminal record upon completing his probation. Left square bracket 57 right square bracket Adan Jimenez Carranza. In October 2013, Officer Adan Jimenez Carranza pleaded guilty to attempted sexual assault for raping a woman in the back of his patrol car after investigating a minor traffic accident. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 20 years on the state's sex offender registry. Carranza was expected to be eligible for parole after 6 months in prison. Left square bracket 58 right square bracket left square bracket needs update right square bracket Gerald Goins. In late February 2020, the Harris County District Attorney asked local courts to appoint lawyers to represent 69 people who had been convicted based on the testimony of Officer Gerald Goins. Goins was accused of creating a fictitious informant and making other false statements to obtain a search warrant that resulted in 2 deaths in a raid on a home in January 2019. Left square bracket 59 right square bracket Goins' misconduct threw into doubt a number of convictions based on his testimony. Left square bracket 60 right square bracket Major Officer Awards. Chief of Police Commendation may be presented to any department employee who demonstrated a high degree of professional excellence or initiative through the success of initiating, developing, or implementing difficult projects, programs, or investigations. The performance shall not have involved personal hazard to the individual. Medal of Valor may be presented to officers who judiciously perform voluntary acts of conspicuous gallantry and extraordinary heroism above and beyond the call of duty, knowing that taking such action presented a clear threat to their lives. Life-saving award may be presented to any classified or civilian employee when a person would more than likely have died or suffered permanent brain damage, if not for the employee's actions. The act must clearly indicate the employee did at least one of the following: A. Rendered exceptional first aid, or B. Made a successful rescue, for example from a burning building or vehicle, or from drowning. Blue Heart Award may be presented to officers who received life-threatening injuries while acting judiciously and in the line of duty. Officers may be eligible to receive the Blue Heart Award in conjunction with another award such as the Meritorious Service Award or the Life Saving Award. Injuries due to negligence or minor injuries not requiring hospitalization are not eligible. Meritorious Service Award may be presented to officers who have distinguished themselves by one of the following: a. Conduct during a criminal investigation or a law enforcement action, while demonstrating a high level of courage, or b. Actions resulting in the apprehension of a felon under dangerous or unusual circumstances. Award of Excellence may be presented to classified or civilian employees who have distinguished themselves on or off duty by outstanding service to HPD or the community. Employees must have demonstrated a high degree of dedication and professionalism in an endeavor that does not meet any other award criteria. Hostile Engagement Award may be presented to officers who acted judiciously in the line of duty and performed acts upholding the high standards of the law enforcement profession, while engaging in hostile confrontations with suspects wielding deadly weapons. Individuals who sustain non-life-threatening or minor injuries resulting from an assault by a deadly weapon are also eligible. Humanitarian Service Award may be presented to any individual, employee or not, who demonstrated a voluntary act of donating time, physical effort, financial support, or special talent promoting the safety, health, education, or welfare of citizens. The individual is not eligible if there was any personal gain, financial compensation, special services, or privileges in exchange for the act. Public Service Award may be presented to any individual outside the department who voluntarily acted in circumstances requiring unusual courage or heroism, while assisting a police officer or other citizen. Those who do not meet the above criteria, but provided a measure of assistance, shall be sent a letter and a certificate of appreciation, no citation page, signed by the Chief of Police. Chief of Police Unit citation may be presented to 2 or more employees who performed an act or a series of acts over a period of time that demonstrated exceptional bravery or outstanding service to the department or the community. Their combined efforts as a functioning team must have resulted in the attainment of a departmental goal or goals and increased the department's effectiveness and efficiency. See also Flag Texas Portal. List of law enforcement agencies in Texas. Houston Blue, a book about the police department crime in Houston.